Monster Hunter Rise definitely has to be one of the few games I enjoyed completing, and hopefully Monster Hunter Wilds lives up to its expectations the same way World did, same way Frontier did. I definitely think Frontier deserves a more modern remake, but hey, that is what it is here. But today we're going to be seeing if a monster could complete this here. Instead of having a hunter or some random human getting all these power-ups and armor throughout the entire story based on their skill, powers, and abilities. Yes, the monster hunter actually has powers. He's actually pretty broken when it comes down to it here. But when it comes down to it, and when we really think about it here, these monster hunters, or the hunters in general, they don't really have anything to just physically go blow for blow with the monsters, right? They normally wear their armor and they gain the monster's powers and abilities to basically just clean house. I mean, unless you got that Luna Garen armor, you just going ham with them claws, right? But today we're going to see if King Ceasar from the Godzilla franchise can take on and beat Monster Hunter Rise. So, without further ado, let's explain these rules, right? It will be show a King Ceasar, but we will be using his other interpretations to kind of gauge his skill, powers, and abilities. Also, King Ceasar will be at the same size as the Monster Hunter. Basically, we're dropping him down to a human size and weight, I guess you could say here, but he will still have all of his physicals. And believe it or not, this could probably work for the franchise where you actually have someone getting bitten by an Orugan or any fanged wyvern that's more wolf-like, and then bada bing bada boom, you got yourself a werewolf fighting by your side. It really wouldn't be too hard here, although King Ceasar isn't a werewolf, he's just a simple guardian. And yeah, he'll actually just be reduced to his size, and we won't be going over the tower in Monster Hunter Rise. No, I'll be saving that for another video down the line, probably towards the end of this wave here. So without further ado, let's begin here. And King Ceasar scaling really isn't bad. It's actually great here. If you guys watch my Kong vs King Ceasar video, King Ceasar is around the large star levels, as he's more comparable to pretty much Godzilla, and should be superior, if not comparable, to monsters that can hurt him. Monsters that can hurt, sorry, not monsters that can hurt Godzilla, monsters that can actually hurt King Ghidorah. King Ceasar would definitely be one of these monsters, as he's able to deal with Mecha Godzilla, who was actually beating down a Godzilla that had harmed King Ghidorah previously. And keep in mind, this will also include other monsters like Varan, Gorosaurus, Anguirus. You know, monsters that are able to harm, break the wings, and even slam King Ghidorah into the ground. So, yeah, I think that should be pretty good here for King Ceasar as a whole here. Should get to large star level pretty easily. He has this energy absorption and is able to blast it back at you 10 times its original amount and stuff here. So, with that being said, oh, and plus of his martial arts skill and prowess, that shouldn't be, you know, too hard to, you know, get him to like a mastered experience here. But yeah, let's talk about Monster Hunter in general here. And believe it or not, you can actually scale them a plethora of ways here. The lower monsters are definitely building level, with the mid tiers definitely being around the city block, if not possibly even large town level, with other monsters being higher than that, definitely being around the city tiers. They have the Elder Dragon tier and the Elder Fighter tier, which ranges from multi-continental, planetary, star. Then you have your higher tier Elder Dragons like Dalmador, Raviente, Nergigante, Geismagorn, and even those like Primordial Malzeno. You can easily get them to, again, planet to star. But then you also have some solar system level scaling pretty easily. And even dragons that are able to create the moon, which is around the dwarf star levels, which is absolutely crazy. But then you also have your much, much higher tiers, like universal to complex, even, you know, complex multiversal probably, and you could easily get them to like 5D as like a, I guess like as a main end, possibly higher if you really start, I guess you could say, like nitpicking at the scaling and stuff, or at least amplifying or over evaluating the scaling. So yeah, it's it is what it is here, but let's really talk about it here. King Caesar should be able to beat the first few monsters with little to no difficulty here. I mean, monsters like Aknosam, Lagambi, Tobi Kadachi, Pookie Pookie, Bishatin, so on and so forth, are literally nothing. Just, they get one shot. All right, they get one close combat and it's over. One roundhouse and it's over here. And in all honesty, I don't think King Caesar would kill them. He might accidentally kill them because he's so high. But let's say that they can survive it here. Let's say King Caesar is so much aware of how strong that they are that he just holds back, right? So, yeah, in all honesty, I think King Caesar will be able to deal with them. And then in Tier 2, it should be no problem. I mean, Anjanath, Somnicanth, I would probably say Gosring, but he seems like an Apex to me here. Baroth, Rathian, Ragnar Kadachi, and maybe Almudron would also fit this tier. Definitely the likes of Gerototis, Seragios, Astalos as well. All would fit that. One clean beatdown, and it's over. Now, do I think King Caesar would try against them? No, not really. I think he would obviously know that they're weak, but if he's not, it's a one-shot deal for anyone. Anyone that can even last in a combo would basically just get obliterated. Like, they be dead by the time the combo even finishes here. And in all honesty, yeah, he should be able to get through with this with no difficulty at all. The first two are literally just no difficulty. Excuse me. And then you have your Apex here, which is like your Rathalos, Diablos, Barriov, Nargacuja, Tigerex. I definitely put Almudron and Gossarang here pretty easily. Seragios and Astos could also fit here. Let's see, I'm trying to think. What is another new monster that was also an Apex? I think that's pretty much it here. They should really be able to get through them like they're nothing. I know Tyrantodon's a mid-tier. And so, yeah, they should be able to get through this like it's nothing. I definitely think he would be able to absorb and redirect Rathalos' Fire Breath as well. Considering the sheer fact that while it is fire, it's still considered an energy-based attack. I'm not sure how, but again, well, technically it is energy because fire is a form of, energy and stuff like that there. So it should be no problem for King Caesar to absorb it. He'll be able to absorb Astalos and Tobi Kadachi's attacks here and just redirect it at him. Most of the monsters he wouldn't be able to absorb, quite obviously, but again, should be pretty easy. Now, how does he do during Rampages? When all these monsters come at you here. Well, I think he would do exceptionally well. And it would basically be a good training exercise for him, in all honesty. Especially with dealing with some of the flying vipers. And in all honesty, I would actually find it funny, right? If you have Hinoa and Minoto are just battling with him on the field here. Maybe Fugan and a couple of the other masters as well here. But I think it would be actually funny to see them struggling to just hit a Rathalos, and while he's just suplexing and smacking down a Basarios or something like that, he then just pulls a Batra from the IDW comics, right, and just runs along the wall, jumps up, grabs the Rathalos, and then just smacks it right into the ground, breaking its wing. Same with, I can't say that yet because this will get into I guess the more difficult tiers pretty soon, I guess. But yeah, he should be able to beat a Rampage pretty simply and pretty easily. Again, some of these monsters aren't really just top tier. However, the giant monsters would probably surprise him a little bit because it's just so there are bigger versions of you out there? Huh. Okay, I guess that makes a whole lot of sense. Or, the Rampage or the Horde boss or whatever. But then this will lead into his actual first challenge, which is Magna Mallow. Magna Mallow definitely should be able to give a smaller version of King Caesar a decent enough fight to where it's not a no difficulty. I definitely think it's low, and by the way, this would actually change the story. Yeah, you see, Magna Mallow getting dealt with early and even having his what's it called? The Hellfire, right? Being used against him and being blasted back 10 times stronger, its original amount. This would mean that King Caesar could end it right then and there. There's really no reason to even have another Magna Mallow fight if King Caesar just straight up grabs him, suplexes him so hard that he's unconscious, and just drags him into the capture chamber. This would then lead into probably maybe an earlier rampage against Ibushi. I definitely think there is some struggle in that, considering that is the Elder Dragon tier here. And the Elder Dragon tiers are considered somewhat equal to each other, with a couple of the higher tiers being above here. But again, Thunder God Narwa, if not All Mother Narwa, should be around the same levels as Geismagorn, who was able to create black holes with his dragon energy, which isn't a joke at all. You could easily get that to, dwarf star level or, planetary if you want to. But again, dragon energy is just vastly ridiculous, right? Then you have the sheer fact that, again, Narwa just uses energy-based attacks like her light electricity, and then combine her with Ibushi, then All Mother Narwa is likely born a lot sooner than the original. And the thing about it is, King Ceasar would just be absorbing all that energy while trying to physically maintain I guess you could say, a grip on the fight itself here. And I do think that once you really hit these Elder Dragon tiers, it's definitely going to be a low to mid difficulty for King Ceasar, because again, these Elder Dragons, as I said earlier, can range from planet to at least dwarf star level, if not flat out star level itself. But once you really get to the All Mother Narwa fight, then it's a wrap. It really isn't. It really is. King Ceasar should be able to just dog walk All Mother Narwa, just get up close, start pummeling her in the face, and then just end it right then and there. I don't think he would capture. I think he would understand he has to kill her. So, yeah, this doesn't... I mean, the threat to the Kamura region just ends sooner. And then you have to deal with Elder Dragons coming forward, probably after that as well. Chameleos really shouldn't be a problem here, as, well, the poison could definitely give King Ceasar some trouble here, but then again, it really wouldn't. Then you have Teostra and Kushala Daora. Teostra probably is a bit less difficult, considering the sheer fact that, again, King Ceasar would absorb his energy-based attacks and then just redirect it right back at him. And then Kushala Daora's tornadoes, King Ceasar would not be able to absorb that, but he would probably be able to absorb the dragon energy attacks that Kushala Daora does. And then he just pretty much clears it in a very awkward order. But then Fiorani comes along, and then we have Sunbreak. Now, this is where everything kind of just gets very interesting here. These monsters are tougher and a lot higher in scaling compared to the previous ones here. So this means that they should be able to give King Ceasar a decent fight here. I think Luna Garen and definitely Zinogre at this stage here would definitely be a very fun fight for King Ceasar here, because imagine him just grappling, letting himself go just a little bit here, just to fight one-on-one with these fanged wyverns, and just grappling with them, enjoying the cuts, slash, and bruises that they both dish out here. And then you have King Ceasar just getting a little bit animalistic here, biting, scratching, punching, kicking, just like a feral animal for a little bit, but then he just smacks himself right back to the reality and just like, oh shoot, I got a job to do. Let me wrap this up real quick here. Now, Garen, Gollum, and Espinaz, because again, they are the high tiers and they are Elder Dragon level here, with Garen Gollum getting done dirty. Yes, that will be a video for this wave, as well as I do have some Monster Hunter videos to, well, some ecology, some talking points for certain monsters here, and, well, yeah, just be ready for that. But again, he should clear pretty easily. So this means we kind of just get into the Elder Dragon tier. Now, the Risen Elder Dragons, in all honesty, would probably just get dealt with the same way the original ones did. However, when it comes to those like Valstrax is definitely a mid difficulty fight here. Excuse me, especially because of his speed here in the air. But again, Crimson Glow Valstrax actually does have a problem. With the dragon energy seeping into his lungs, it gets tired and exhausted a lot more quicker. Now, I do think King Ceasar would definitely be on the back foot for a little bit due to those, blitzes and stuff here. But I can actually see a moment where he just catches and just beats Valstrax by literally waiting till he comes close, jumping in the air, grabbing him like he did Batra, and just seismic tossing him right into the ground. Like, just making sure that her wing is just so damaged that it wouldn't be able to get back up and fly again. And then he would just proceed to beat the crap out of Valstrax here. So, yeah, King Caesar would clear that one. And I think the next one here, and let me check real quick. I kind of find it funny we don't have an apex or any type of subspecies for Gauss and Rang. Or Rajang either. I almost forgot to mention Rajang would basically be in the same category as Espinas and Garen Gollum. But yeah, Gore Magala or the Magala trio in general would get dealt with in all honesty. I do think the Frenzy virus does propose a somewhat of a threat. Again, it's still an infection. We don't know how King Caesar would do with infection, but since his internal organs are not organic in nature, they're more metallic, so it's very possible that his own biology saves him in this situation. Albeit there are some organic components to King Caesar, it's not entirely organic on the more internal structures, if you get what I mean. But I think that pretty much does it here, and we have Velkhana and Malzeno for the top tier. Now, yeah, these guys just get dealt with. Malzeno's definitely a lot more difficult. I would definitely say that here. I definitely think Malzeno's definitely a I don't want to say a high difficulty, but he's definitely going to make it sure that King Caesar does get some decent work in for that victory. All right, he's going to have to work for the W. And I actually can see a case where King Caesar just tries to jump at him in the air, and Malzeno just catches him and slams him right back into the ground. So it's not that easy of a fight, but again, King Caesar would definitely win with a good beatdown and maybe redirecting some of Malzeno's more energy-based attacks. The Curo is very interesting because I don't think it could infect King Caesar, but if it can, then it could drive him into a state of rage and madness, and then who's going to stop him by that point, right? It's very interesting. It was, it's very interesting to kind of, like, think about this. Like, what would happen if King Caesar, kind of just raged out from this infection and just started destroying everything? What would stop him? Who would stop him, right? Because there's no guarantee that they could. Like, even with Dragon Age and stuff like that, you're stopping a skilled beast from destroying the entire village, if not the entire planet at that point. So, yeah, maybe if the Curo infect him, maybe he could overcome it somehow, but it would get very ugly here. And this leaves us with our final matchup being Geismagorn. Well, I don't see how Geismagorn's winning that one. I definitely think Geismagorn may even go into the Phase 3 stage a lot sooner than the original. Meaning that King Caesar is now fighting the strongest opponent so far in the franchise. Or at least in this game so far. Meaning that, yeah, this would probably be one of his few high difficulty battles. Meaning that King Caesar would likely have to absorb so much dragon energy that it just becomes vastly lethal. It's very possible he might develop a new attack from this. Considering the sheer fact that dragon energy, if it's infected to its opponent, it would mutate the creature that it's being absorbed by. So you would pretty much have that, and then King Caesar redirecting a blast so powerful that it's 10 times its original amount back at his opponent, and then, in all honesty, that would probably just vaporize the entire area that they're in. Like, Geismagorn would be non-existent at that point. But I think that's pretty much enough here. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share it to friends. King Caesar should clear this with literally low to high difficulty at best. Like, at least for, like, Geismagorn. And then there are the tower monsters, which I will be doing at a later date. And also, before you guys click off, be sure to actually get ready, or if you guys want, go to the Jurassic Live playlist, as we will be continuing those chapters pretty much after this video. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and y'all have a blessed day. Peace.